You're watching Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, I'm Dana Wachter.
And I'm Derek Dowling. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for this late edition of the 10 o'clock news.
Well, all this early winter weather came with a bang, knocking out power to thousands in the area. Duke Energy reported more than 2,000 outages in Greenville after 2:30 this morning. Now, we've got a live look here at the outages in the area right now. Duke crews are still out there working to restore power to everyone.
Well, not only could your car be stolen, but if you rev it up and then walk away, you could actually be fined because police say that's illegal to do. But I can tell you that folks in Williamston are not going to be walking away from their car while they're not watching it anytime soon. This ground right here is what we're looking at. Probably a lot of the other neighborhoods and side roads. We're actually at a gas station and it's pretty slippery and icy.
Dana, in the car, what's the latest down there?
It's snowing, Ben, right now in Lawrence County. It's been snowing for a while, and we just wanted to get in the car and kind of show people what it's like for a few people in this hotel who are deciding to leave today. The road is completely covered with snow.
The red carpet's actually just down there behind me, and right now I'm standing on Hangar 2. We are on the Intrepid, which is a former Navy ship, and now it's a museum.
You just gonna move your wrist.
Of course, I also had to try my hand and knee at the spoons.
Carry it down there till it hits up in the palm of it. Yeah, get down. All right.
Just 2 days after that 4.1 magnitude earthquake rocked the area, a second shake was felt today 7 miles west of Edgewood, and that's where Friday's quake also came from. Now tonight, Fox Carolina's Nikki Davidson has been talking with folks in Greenwood who definitely felt that aftershock, and that's where she joins us live tonight. So Nikki, how are people feeling now?
Well, a lot of people are really surprised. Back to you.
Okay, Nikki, so with all that's been happening this weekend, are people over there thinking about the future? Are they worried maybe that they'll see more of these aftershocks or earthquakes?
They're definitely a little bit worried about that potential.
Thanks, Nikki. Well, the aftershock brings another round of concerns for people in Edgefield County. And in the surrounding area, many of you called us today to let us know about the tremor.
Now, you might be wondering how local and state emergency officials are working to respond to the aftershock.
Always expect some type of aftershock or another earthquake in South Carolina.
And this aftershock, of course, comes after an earthquake that shook many across the entire southeast just 2 days ago. That 4.1 magnitude quake was centered there near Edgefield County. And tonight we have the county's emergency management director, Mike Casey, on the phone with us. Hey there, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
All right, Mike, so what is the mood of the county there tonight, since you guys obviously felt a bit more of this shaking?
Well, ironically enough, there's a bit of an excitement.
Okay, Mike. Well, thank you so much for answering a couple questions here tonight. And we wish you luck, I guess, with any more damages. And hopefully, maybe this will be the last of it.
Hopefully.
Well, we hope it'll be the last, but we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Well, since we've now seen the second earthquake in just a few days, many people are wondering if insurance will help pay for the damage the quake may have caused. Now, according to the South Carolina Insurance News Service, damage from the earthquake is not covered by a basic homeowner's policy. Homeowners need to buy either an endorsement or a separate policy to cover those damages. Now, those policies can have deductibles ranging from $1,000 to 5 or 10% of the coverage amount, and premiums vary. Agents say they could start between $150 and $200 a year. An upstate 2-year-old left behind on a daycare bus for 4 hours. We'll tell you how that happened. And it's video you'll only see on Fox. After 2 days, a standoff with police in Asheville is over. Good evening, I'm Dana Wachter. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on this first weekend of 2014. Well, it's sure been a cold start to the new year. You can see the fountain at Wofford College has frozen over, and these frigid temperatures will continue to drop throughout the night. If you're in McDowell County, be on the lookout because you're under a freezing rain advisory starting tonight. The National Weather Service says be prepared for some slippery roads. Well, let's get straight over to meteorologist Ted Phaeton for the latest. Okay, so Ted, when can folks expect this freezing rain to actually start, and is it going to stick around all weekend?
It's in Lawrence County where we'll find Fox Carolina's Dana Wachter. And Dana, you guys were actually stuck there last night because the roads were so bad.
Yeah, we were here. We were live throughout the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock shows last night and decided that we didn't really want to risk the roads either. And today it's a little bit warmer, actually. I think it's because there's a little bit less wind, but there's still some of this sleet flurry stuff kind of happening in Clinton, which is where we are right now. And if you take a look over here, all the cars around us are completely iced over. There's a glaze over them, which is obviously all this freezing rain and sleet that's been going, which means obviously the roads are just as glazed over and icy as well. Erica Powell cheers for the varsity and competition squads at Clemson. She's active in her sorority and she goes out with friends just like any other 21-year-old. The difference is she really can't see.
Cheering at Clemson football and basketball games. Navigating Clemson's campus, Erica Powell chats with friends, walks to class, and catches the bus. But you won't see her texting and walking like many classmates.
Yes, it's like the grandma font size.
Big font because she's legally blind.
I have to be extra cautious, I feel like.
Erica's sorority sister and roommate Haley Wilson says aside from raised stickers on kitchen cabinets and the fact that she and other friends drive her around,
everything's still so normal. It's not really like it's a constant reminder that she has this visual impairment. She's still does everything that we do.
Erica was diagnosed with retinoblastoma at just 6 months old. After treatments and surgeries until she was 6 or 7, she's cancer-free, but her vision was impacted by the radiation.
I've never known what 100%, perfect vision is, but it has gotten worse over the years.
She sees colors and light and shapes, but she says everything is always blurry. She can't make out details, which is frustrating.
Especially, like I said, the social aspect of it, like walking by someone that could be my mother or my best friend and not being able to recognize them.
Erica says she knows voices very well.
3, 4, 5.
But when she's flipping, throwing her teammates, and staying in step, she says she sees like this.
We do like a lot of spinning and like catching feed and all that stuff, and she does it just like everyone else.
People just respect her because she works hard, and now they're even more inspired that they know her whole story.
Her coach and teammates say she's an inspiration.
I don't feel different compared to other people. I try not to see myself as, any different than another college student.
Now, Erica said she had grown up doing gymnastics, but it wasn't until her senior year at TL Hanna that she actually started cheering. But she's been varsity at Clemson for 3 years now. When I asked her if she can even see the game that she's cheering for, she says not really. It's mostly a blur. She said she really has to go off of her teammates' reactions to know when to cheer. Cody and Diana.
They are one step closer to developing treatment.
Eventually, they want to physically fix a genetic difference.
We found out that the variant causes the protein to be less stable. So we're trying to understand how we can reverse this effect.
While Alexov's team works in a computer lab, they corroborate with geneticists and scientists like Dr. Charles Schwartz at the Greenwood Genetics Center, who works directly with patients. Since Schwartz's office discovered the gene mutation that causes Snyder Robinson, he now knows the Raymonds in Virginia.
You are super silly today.
Now, Connor is on seizure medication, and they anticipate bone deterioration over the years.
We may be able to treat those situations, the seizures or the osteoporosis or the scoliosis, and not impact the cognitive function, because the cognitive function may already be set in place and it may be difficult to reverse that, whereas the seizures, it may be able to mitigate that.
To the Raymonds, that would be a huge improvement.
As he gets older, things will become more difficult. He won't remain a cute little boy his whole life. He'll be very fragile. And with intellectual disability, there's no telling if he'll ever be able to hold a job or have a relationship.
Schwartz says it could take years to translate Dr. Alexov's computer modeling into actual treatment with lab testing before human testing. But that's why Alexov looks at drugs that are already FDA approved to see if they could be used in different capacities. That gives the Raymonds hope for a speedier treatment.
You want to answer the hope so that they're no longer hopeful, they actually have the answer.
Talk of manipulating DNA leads to ethical questions. Whose decision will it be to use which kind of treatment?
I do a lot of work with children and adolescents with attention deficit disorder, and it's interesting when you ask some people who have that particular problem, if you could change this and be, quote, normal, would you? Not everyone would.
Doctors like Howard Bean with Mary Black Physicians Group say working on molecules and changing someone's genetic makeup is the way of the future.
If we sit back and wait on our legal system or ethics committees and such to decide on these things, much of it will never happen. There'll be too much time just talking and not enough time doing.
2, 3. The doing is something Connor Raymond's family is anxious to see come true. Dana Wachter, Fox Carolina News Tonight.
Today, his arm reads hope, but his journey has been a long one, and it's not close to being over.
I've attempted suicide 3 times. These burn marks on my arm, those are actually cigarette burn marks. You get to the point that you feel like that you're numb and you want to feel. So you do everything in your power to be able to feel.
In October of 2009, Brandon Bentley had been a Spartanburg County deputy responding to a call to break up a fight on Harold Drive. Investigators say Steve Satterfield threatened to kill Bentley, and Bentley shot him in the chest. Satterfield died in the hospital.
It was drove in my head so many times by so many people that you're broken. All you done was shot and killed a man. Why is that affecting you? All you done was you saved your life. Well, the thing is yes, the man that I shot, I didn't intend to kill him. I intended to stop the threat, but he passed away. But that's somebody's son, that's somebody's father, that's somebody's husband.
It's a realization, Bentley says, that didn't sink in for days, but then it rocked his world.
It's like taking a glass bottle and throwing it up against a brick wall. Your whole life shatters and it's in pieces.
Bentley says without getting debriefed or directed to counseling from the sheriff's office, a friend suggested he call post-trauma resources in Columbia. But they needed him to file with workers' comp to treat him, so he turned to the law firm Harrison White, Smith & Coggins. While Spartanburg attorney Jeremy Danton worked to set up his case, the doctors in Columbia realized he needed help now. And as he started therapy, Sheriff Chuck Wright says Bentley was cleared on all accounts in that what he did while on duty in Spartanburg County was justified.
We don't celebrate when we have to use force with anyone, and it does affect the police officers. Even the ones that are, super prepared and the ones that have even, newer old officers. It's just very difficult to know that you've taken a human life, and it weighs heavy on the guys. It sure does.
So even though Bentley was cleared legally to go back to work, he wasn't ready or capable to return to the force. In fact, he never did.
The nightmares are still, it's almost 4 years out for me. The nightmares are unbearable. There's still nights that I urinate on myself.
Diagnosed with cumulative post-traumatic stress disorder and post-shooting trauma, Bentley had no one to pay the bill. Eventually, his lawyer, Jeremy Danton, took a workers' compensation claim to Spartanburg County and the Association of Counties, which doles out benefits to county employees. His claim and then appeal were denied.
It's a very high burden to meet when you're trying to establish what's called a mental injury, which is where you have a psychological injury from something that happens at work that is not related to a physical type injury.
Bentley says he suffers from flashbacks and memories, like a slideshow of traumatizing scenes he experienced while serving the upstate.
When you sit there and you have a baby that's in your arms that you're doing CPR on, and he passes away, and when EMS pulls up, you've actually got him between your chest and your vest, begging God, take my life, just spare this child.
Bentley says that incident, plus rolling his own patrol car and finally killing a man out of necessity, sparked his illness. He says medication helps but doesn't cure him.
It is still a daily battle each and every day that I will have to deal with the rest of my life.
But he knows he has to move forward. Bentley's using his experience to try to help others because he knows there are many others like him. He says it's not just police officers who suffer, but firefighters, EMS, and even dispatchers who often hear the agony of a situation over the radio.
County 911, what's the location?
Bentley co-founded Surviving the Shield, a Facebook group which offers support and resources to first responders who have been suffering all alone.
I will be heard. We, and when I say we, I mean all first responders, will be heard.
Dana Wachter, Fox Carolina News Tonight.